Welcome back.
Yo, right guys, a new image has been circulating around online, or should I say recirculating around online. I remember seeing this years back, way before I even had a channel, and it came back to my attention like 2 days ago, so in case you haven't seen it, you may find it interesting. Plus we're going to be scanning portions of the moon using 4K images and looking at some strange, unnatural patterns and objects that otherwise shouldn't be on the moon as we know or we think we know the moon. But let's start with this dome-shaped object. Like I said, this is just resurfaced but with completely false information. People are sharing this widely. It's like a rumour that gets shared. One person hears it, it gets spread on and so forth. So this new image and information must have started somewhere, and obviously the people are just resharing this image and information without doing their own background checking. Here's 2 examples of an article that have been mirrored from the original, or at least an article that is getting mirrored online, claiming this image was taken on the moon recently by one of the lunar orbiters. But I can confirm and assure you that this is an image taken on Mars by the Mars Global Surveyor on October 19th, 1999. This image clearly shows a round object sitting on the surface of Mars. It looks like a giant golf ball that's crashed into the surface. NASA has scrutinised this particular image and claim it's nothing more than a natural formation or a meteorite's impact. Well, NASA would, wouldn't they? We've all got a bit of common sense and this does not look natural, if you ask me anyway. It looks like a man-made structure, like an eco-dome. This was taken in 1999 and I do believe there have been manned missions to Mars, and there have been for a long time. Could this be evidence to back this up? Is this a science experiment trying to grow terrestrial crops on an extraterrestrial environment? Growing food and creating oxygen? Maybe it's a military safe zone. There is no way to estimate the size of this anomaly, but as it was taken from the surveyor in the orbit of Mars 231 miles above, I'm guessing, well guesstimating, this would have to be a pretty large structure to be picked up on the mapping instrument. An alien construction, an ancient alien construction, a man-made building, or as NASA claims, a natural formation or a meteorite impact. I can't give you that answer, but I can leave it in your hands to decide. Moving on to the moon now, we've got some amazing 4K images to look at, and I'm just going to show you points of interest that seem to show unnatural formations. The moon is not what we've been told, and the moon is not what you think it is. I could show you anomalies on the moon from these images for hours, as I've been going over these images with a fine-tooth comb, but I'm just going to focus on the most obvious and easy to point out points of interest for the purpose of this video. I do say 4K images, but once I've done what I've got to do and put the video together, get the video uploaded, which won't be available in 4K after upload, but this will still be some of the clearest images of the moon you'll ever see from an amateur's presentation anyway. So some people seem to think the moon is thriving with life, with cities, a thriving ecosystem, oceans, plantation, and even a weather cycle like on Earth. But how can that be? We all know the moon is a giant dead ball of dust. We were taught that in school. Or the moon is made of cheese. Astronomers have been staring at the moon since we knew what the moon was, but there's a very out there theory that has evidence to back this up. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of anything called the lunar wave. Some amateur astronomers have shown evidence of something called the lunar wave, and the Crow 777 has evidence of this on his YouTube channel. A few years ago, after he presented a video on this lunar wave, his channel got terminated with no warnings, no strikes. His channel was in good standing, but all of a sudden his channel was just unplugged after showing this lunar wave video. He fought and fought. It took him like a year I think, but he eventually brought his channel back online, and he is still with us today. The video showed, and he's not the only person to show this lunar wave, but the video showed a static discharge rolling down the face of the moon around every 30 seconds. Now, the theory is the moon has a holographic shield protecting it. Not a shield as in a defensive shield from attacks, but a visual holographic projection that projects an image of the moon as we see it on Earth to cover up what the moon really looks like underneath this projected image. And why does the moon not spin on its axis like every other planetary body in our solar system, or every other planetary body we can see and know about? We can only ever see one side of the moon, which we call the face of the moon, and it stays in a completely fixed orbit, which is bizarre in itself. And it's funny how no public science debates ever get shown about this, but underground researchers do talk about this and try to figure it out. It's like the moon has its own anti-gravity propulsion system. And believe this or not, but the moon being where it is and doing what it does, to put it simply, without the moon, life couldn't exist on planet Earth as we know it. And for the moon to be in its exact position around planet Earth and create perfect solar eclipses, the chances of it being in that exact orbit are so minute, we can't even calculate the numbers on how low of a chance it is for the moon to be where it is. But the fact is, there's no arguments when it comes to this, but it seems like the moon was put there by design, and the chances of it happening again around another planet, even in the vastness of our known universe, the chances of another moon being where it is and doing what it does around another planet, the chances of it happening again is literally zero. That is how ominous our moon is. Now, we've been to the moon, we've supposedly landed on the moon, I say supposedly for argument's sake, and we have lunar orbiters orbiting the moon. So if this was true about a habitable moon or a moon filled with ancient structures, surely we would know about this, right? Wrong. Need I say more? And if we briefly take a look at the returning astronauts' first public conference from Apollo 11, the first humans to land on the moon, these astronauts look traumatized. They don't look like they've just achieved mankind's biggest accomplishment. They look like they've seen something that they shouldn't have or never imagined to have seen while they were up there, and they've been told to keep their mouths shut or else. What did Neil, Michael and Buzz see up there? And I guarantee you that the officials who sent them up there on that mission already knew in advance what they would see when they got up there. So then, take a look at some of my findings on these lunar images. It does go on for a while, so I'll play some fitting audio to go with the visuals, and as always, I will catch you soon. Legends.